Hello there, and welcome to the UPLC-II Ethernet settings training video. Today, we will be covering the following topics: configuring UPLC-II front panel Ethernet settings, configuring Windows Ethernet computer settings, and finally, troubleshooting common Ethernet connection issues. At the end of this video, we will provide phone and email contact information if you have any further questions. For the remainder of the video, I will say UPLC, but this will encompass UPLC and UPLC-II unless noted. UPLC Ethernet settings are accessed only from the front panel. With the unit powered up, press the Set button. If it is a new factory default unit, the front panel password is 4050. Enter 4050 and press Set again. The front panel display will now show 1. Settings, 2. Configure, 3. Calibrate. Press 2 or use the cursor keys to highlight 2 and press Set. Now the front display shows 1. Change password, 2. IP address, 3. View MAC address, and 4. View revisions. Press 2 or use cursor keys to highlight 2 and press Set. Now you will see the IP address, the subnet mask, and the gateway. If you are configuring this for your network, then your network administrator would provide you with this information specific to your network. To change any of these settings, use the cursor keys to highlight the setting, in this case IP address, and press Set. Then type the new settings with leading zeros. I will change the default IP to demonstrate 168.192.000.000. Then press Set again. When you are done, press Escape to exit. You will then get a Please stand by updating settings message, followed by a settings updated message. Now we'll change it back to the default. If you are not connecting your UPLC to a network, then there is no reason to change the default IP address. Now that we are back to the factory default, I will exit settings by pressing Escape. One quick note, the Ethernet settings are not saved in the settings file and are unique to each UPLC. You will need access to your computer's Windows Network Connections Ethernet properties for the remainder of the Ethernet setup. If you do not have administrative rights, you will have to contact your network administrator so they may set up the following. Go to Network Connections. This varies depending on which operating system you are running. I am running Windows 10, so it is here. Select Change Adapter Options. Right-click on the Ethernet connection icon and select Properties. We suggest you deselect Internet Protocol version 6 and only select Internet Protocol version 4. Select IPv4, press Properties. From here, you may have Obtain an IP address automatically. Select the Alternate Configuration tab, press the User Config button. The IP address here should be the same as the UPLC IP address, 192.168.0, with the final number being different. Here I selected 20. The subnet mask should be the same as the UPLC-II, in this case 255.255.255.0. And if you're not using a network and direct connecting with a cable, you may leave the default gateway blank. Then press OK and you are ready to go. Now you can connect to this UPLC-II via the front panel Ethernet port or one of the 2 rear panel Ethernet ports, assuming you have ordered the option that has at least one electrical RJ45 port and not both fiber optic. If you are connecting to a UPLC, then you can only connect via one of the 2 rear panel Ethernet ports, even if there is a front Ethernet port, as the front Ethernet port only works on UPLC-II. When connecting to the rear Ethernet connector, you should see 2 LEDs continuously illuminated. They may flash briefly for older version Ethernet ports. These LEDs must come on or a link will not occur. To log in, open your Internet Explorer browser and type in your UPLC IP address. I will use 10.14.3.122. as this UPLC-II is connected to a local network. You should get a Windows Security dialog box prompting your username and password. You may refer to the UPLC webpage basics training video on how to log into the UPLC. Now we will cover a few common Ethernet connection issues. Let us put in the default IP address of 192.168.0.10 and hit Return. You'll notice in the tab that it says waiting on 192.168.0.10 and you get the icon spinning. After a few moments, you will get a can't reach this page error message. There are quite a few possibilities of why this error message occurs. 1. Verify that the Ethernet cable is connected correctly. If it is, try another cable to verify that it's not malfunctioning. 2. Verify that the UPLC supports Ethernet from the catalog number. Just having the Ethernet board installed does not activate functionality. The catalog number must have Ethernet enabled as well. The 6th position of the UPLC catalog number shows the Ethernet port option, and A indicates no Ethernet. UPLC needs a C, 2 RJ45, or H, 1 RJ45 and 1 fiber optic, as there is no front panel RJ45 support. UPLC-II requires M, 2 RJ45, or R, 1 RJ45 and 1 fiber optic, or P, 2 fiber optic. 3. It could be that you have an older UPLC with first generation Ethernet boards listed here, and you are using a straight Ethernet cable. If you have any of these boards, then only a crossover Ethernet cable will work. To use either a straight or crossover Ethernet cable with a UPLC, you will have to have the latest Ethernet boards listed here and firmware version 3.08 or later. All UPLC-II support straight and crossover Ethernet cables. 4. Another possibility is that some computers may require fixing their port speed to 100 megabits per second full duplex instead of auto negotiate. To do this, go to Settings, Devices, and select Device Manager. Select Network Adapters, and double-click your Ethernet connection. Select Change Settings. Select the Advanced tab. Scroll down and select Speed and Duplex. From the pull down on the right, select 100 megabits per second full duplex and press OK. 5. As previously mentioned in the computer Ethernet port setup, verify that Internet Protocol version 6 TCP IPv6 is unchecked in the Properties field of your wired Ethernet connections on your laptop. 6. Check that your web browser is not showing HTTPS, which is HTTP secure, instead of HTTP shown here. If it is, then you will need to go to your browser settings, select Internet Options, go to the Advanced tab, scroll down to Security, and uncheck SSL 3.0. You may have to contact your network administrator for privileges to do this. 7. If you did not properly log out of the UPLC by pressing the logout button and just closing the browser, then you will have to wait for the user session timer found under the admin section to expire. The default is 30 minutes. If allowed, you may reset the UPLC by opening the front panel and pulling the power supply or supplies if you have a redundant before the user session timeout timer expires. For UPLC with firmware versions 2.05 or lower, the unit will have to be rebooted. If you are running 2.05 firmware, we highly suggest updating to the latest version firmware by visiting ametekpower.com and going to Products, Communication Products, UPLC, scrolling down to Firmware Downloads, and selecting the latest firmware upgrade package. There are instructions on how to upgrade in the package. And finally, 8. If you are trying to access an UPLC-II and the rear RJ45 port works, but not the front panel RJ45 port, this may be due to one of the following issues. Verifying you are not trying to connect to the front panel Ethernet port of an older UPLC with the gray front door panel. Only UPLC-II with the black front door panel can support front port Ethernet. Verify the display board ribbon cable going to the front door auxiliary board is plugged in securely with the handles of the connector release pushed in all the way. Finally, verify the jumper setting on the Ethernet board found on the transceiver board. Jumper 1-2 must be set to on. In general, this jumper should be set to on or A position for transceiver boards Rev 9 or higher, and off or B position for transceiver boards Rev 8 or lower. Another common issue is that if after typing in your UPLC IP address, we will go to 10.14.3.122 and hit return, you get a 401 unauthorized user authentication is required error message, then the issue is caused by an Internet Explorer security setting. In the Internet Explorer menu, choose Tools, Internet Options, Security, Custom Level, scroll down to the end, and make sure that anything other than anonymous login is selected. Change it to any of the other settings and press OK. Now type in your IP address and you should get the Windows Security pop-up requesting your username and password for the UPLC. That is it for this training session. I hope you found this session informative. If you have any questions regarding UPLC or UPLC-II, please contact us at the following phone numbers or email. The sales email may be used to contact Ametek for quotes or ordering new equipment. The repair email may be used to contact Ametek for repair of existing equipment. And the applications email may be used to contact Ametek concerning product setup or system applications. You may also go to our website for further information. This link may be found in the video description below.